Number 37 in the Radiance range is The Sting of Death from 1990. Now, this is one of those movies that just draws you in from the opening sequence. You see throughout the film the disillusionment of a marriage as it kind of slowly falls apart. This is set after World War II. We follow a family of 4 as we kind of watch them deal with some kind of trauma that's happened before. We have Miho and Tashiro, 2 characters who marriage is hit a breaking point. We have the husband who has had an affair. The wife knows about it. She has found out, and there is a deep-seated distrust within her. And we kind of watch the husband realise what he's done, realise what he has put at jeopardy, and try to make right.
私は体も心もあなたに捧げ尽くしました。その報酬がこうだったのです。
But that seed of distrust, now that has been sown, is hard to cut back on, and we see the wife in this one fight to hold her marriage and her sanity together, and it just plays out throughout the rest of the film. And this was one of those movies that is beautifully shot. It has this wonderful set design. It has these weird abstract images at moment. It has this kind of delightful glow about the production. It looks wonderful, and then you're dealt with this battling husband and wife as they kind of vie for power over this relationship. They try to use all different kinds of manipulation to one-up each other.
早く言いなさい。それを言えばこんなくだらないいさかいはやめます。
Either beg forgiveness in one situation or another, or to take power and control over the other person, to belittle them and put them down. It's a war of words and action throughout this film, not because of the transgressions, but because of the aftermath of it. Because of that, the wife is feeling betrayed. She feels as if she's been sidelined and used and discarded by the husband, and she tries to use that to make him feel guilty, to make him feel some of the pain that she's been experiencing, to kind of belittle him and bring him down. And this kind of breaks the husband almost, and he tries to make amends constantly and constantly finds himself fighting an uphill battle. And it's this dichotomy of these 2 characters just put in situations that can one moment feel right and as if they're back on the track, and then slowly or suddenly just dissolve into anarchy as one or the other just completely snaps and they go back a step. It's definitely 2 steps forward, 3 steps back.
恥知らず！夫婦の恥を得意になってペラペラ喋るような夫がどこの世界にあるものか。
乱暴しちゃいけない。落ち着きなさい。
And it's watching this relationship and the impact with the kids and the impact it has on both of their sanity that is compelling. This is one of those movies where I was drawn into the situations. I was appalled. I was sympathetic. I was empathetic to certain situations. I could understand why they were doing what they were doing. And at the same time, there was a compulsive nature to what they were doing, but it was also reprehensible. Nothing was making the situation better. They were always just constantly compounding the problem, and it becomes a resentful coupling at a certain point as these 2 people feel that they are connected in more ways than one now, and it's going to be mutual destruction. It just has that kind of feeling about it. The performances are absolutely fantastic. There's a moment where our character decides that enough's enough. It can't go on like this. He's punished enough. He decides he's going to kill himself in the most ridiculous fashion. And the wife's just like, I can't. If you're going to do that, I'm going to do it as well. And it's almost like a battle of who has more conviction in this action, as ridiculous as it is.
困っちゃったな。お母さんがあんまり責めたから。お父さんの頭が変になっちゃった。
The Sting of Death was stunningly beautiful. It was deeply effective. It was one of those movies where you watched this with disbelief at the actions, but a kind of understanding of where those actions were coming from. It was quirky, funny, deeply emotional, shocking. It carried everything, and it had this wonderful air of competency about it that just felt as if it was in assured hands. I was marvelled by this movie. The Sting of Death was one of those films where it just almost instantaneously captivated me, mesmerised me with this broken down marriage as it got worse, as it became more harmful to the inhabitants of this relationship until the finality of the film. Worth watching, definitely worth checking out. Let's dive into the disc and look at the extras for The Sting of Death. Here we are in the disc for The Sting of Death. Let's go to the special features. First up, we have Japanese cinema, New Territories. This archival documentary looks at the revival of Japanese cinema during the 90s, featuring interviews from various directors and people involved in the industry. This is a great doc running at 56 minutes 40 seconds that really gives you an insight into Japanese cinema and how it was still impacted from the 60s, but perpetrated by people who were born after the war, which is an interesting facet and kind of focuses on the changing trends and ideology that was used at the time. So, great documentary. Next up, we have Hideki Maeda, scholar and Oguri expert, discusses The Sting of Death, the original novel, filmed exclusively for Radiance in October 2023, and this runs at 20 minutes 25 seconds. He kind of talks about the idea of the I-novel in the novel itself and how it was used, how the director knew the novel inside out is one of his favourite things, and going into adapting the story and some of the thematics that are prevalent throughout both the book and the movie. In addition to that, there is a 24-page booklet along with this release, which includes an interview with the director, which was taken in 1990, and offers some interesting tidbits and ideas. And that's the extras for The Sting of Death. There we have it, another wonderful release by Radiance. This one is really interesting. It's not one I'm going to watch a lot. I can see me throwing on every now and again and just absolutely adoring as this plays out, the kind of wonderful setting, the horrible situation, and the dichotomy between those two factions. It's, very interesting, and I highly recommend The Sting of Death. Worth checking out. I'd love to know your thoughts. If you're going to pick it up, if you've picked it up, let me know in the comment box below your thoughts on this film. As always, there's more content up here. You can see more of my stuff. In the description box below are links to Patreon, membership program, and vfilm.com, all ways in which you can support me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.